Imagine a scene, 4 barrels roaring like a mad hurricane, tearing through the silence of the sky. 3,400 rounds per minute. The air turns into a solid wall of fire, lead and death. Nothing gets through. This is not fiction, not a computer game. This is the Soviet ZSU-23-4 Shilka, a vehicle created in the mid-1960s specifically to hunt low-flying NATO attack aircraft. And 60 years later, it has unexpectedly become one of the most effective, cheapest, and most reliable means against swarms of kamikaze drones in the 21st century. Why did Soviet engineers deliberately choose the modest 23mm caliber instead of powerful 37mm or 57mm guns? And how did this seemingly compromised decision from 1962 turn out to be a brilliant foresight that saved the Shilka from oblivion and made it more relevant than many modern anti-aircraft missile systems costing millions? Today we dive deep into this legendary story, from birth and dramatic trials to second life in the drone age. Subscribe, hit the bell, and let's plunge into the drama of the steel rain that still pours on enemies. The 1960s, the Cold War reaches its absolute peak. NATO is aggressively developing new generations of strike aviation. American A-4 Skyhawk, A-6 Intruder, the upcoming A-7 Corsair II, and revolutionary A-10 Thunderbolt, British Harrier jump jets, French Mirage series. All these aircraft are learning to fly extremely low, 50 to 150 meters above the ground, hugging terrain, hiding in folds of the earth, evading air defense radars. The Shilka's direct predecessor, the ZSU-27-2 with two 57mm guns, turned out to be hopelessly slow and ineffective against such threats. Rate of fire, only 240 rounds per minute for both guns combined, manual aiming, no radar tracking, heavy and cumbersome ammunition. NATO pilots were already mocking it. This thing will manage one burst before we're already overhead. Soviet designers received a crystal-clear directive: build a mobile anti-aircraft system capable of guaranteed destruction of any aircraft at altitudes up to 1,500 to 2,000 meters, able to keep pace with tank columns and leave the enemy no chance to slip through at low level. Chief designer Yevgeny Matiseyev and the team at the Ural Transport Engineering Design Bureau, now part of Uralvagonzavod, got to work. The pivotal decision that shaped the machine's destiny came after careful study of World War II and Korean War statistics. To reliably down a fast jet aircraft, raw shell power is less important than sheer volume of fire. The more projectiles filling the air per second, the higher the statistical probability of a hit. So designers abandoned 37mm and 57mm calibers. Yes, they delivered a heavier, more destructive shell, but rate of fire plummeted several times due to thicker belts, faster barrel overheating, and far more complex feed mechanisms. Instead, they selected the 23mm automatic guns, 2A-14 Amur, 4 barrels firing simultaneously. Each gun delivers 800 to 1,000 rounds per minute. Together, officially 3,400 to 3,600, and in real-world bursts it often reached 4,000 rounds per minute. This is no longer discrete shots, this is a continuous torrent of lead that literally shreds anything airborne. Ammunition load, 2,000 rounds standard, in specialized and export variants, up to 4,000. Shell types, OFZT, high explosive fragmentation incendiary tracer. For air targets, excellent spread and incendiary effect. BZT, armor-piercing incendiary tracer, for groundwork, punches through light armor, bunkers, vehicles. Effective range, 2,500 meters, but the real lethal zone against fast movers, 1,500 to 1,800 meters. The RPK-2 gun dish radar detects targets at 20 kilometers, acquires and tracks at 18 kilometers, and automatically computes lead angle, accounting for target speed, range, wind, and ballistics. Chassis, tracked GM575, highway speed 50 kilometers per hour, cross-country 35 to 40 kilometers per hour. Total weight only 19 tons, lighter than many modern IFV's crew of 4. Commander, radar/guidance operator, driver mechanic, and gunner. The vehicle could march in the same formation as tanks and open fire instantly on any aerial threat. The Shilka's greatest paradox: built to fight the sky, it excelled on the ground. Barrel elevation from -4 degrees to +85 degrees allowed it to engage mountain peaks, building rooftops, windows, hillside bushes. In Afghanistan, 1979 to 1989, the Shilka became absolute legend. Radar was frequently removed, Afghan modification ZSU-23-4 because in mountains it created interference, emitted detectable signals, and made the vehicle too visible. Instead, they boosted ammo capacity, added night vision sights, reinforced cabin armor, and extra shrapnel protection. Mujahideen nicknamed it Shaitan Arbor, or ambush killer. One prolonged burst, and an entire mountainside turned into inferno. Rocks splintered, bushes incinerated, trenches shredded. Shilkas escorted convoys along dangerous roads, eliminated firing points on inaccessible heights where tanks couldn't elevate their main guns, and broke ambushes in narrow gorges. Veterans still recall, when you hear that signature roar, 4 barrels at maximum, it feels like the sky itself is crashing down and the ground trembles from the recoil. In urban combat, Middle East conflicts, Africa, Asia, everywhere the Shilka proved itself the perfect infantry support weapon. Fast reaction, devastating volume of fire, terrifying psychological effect. Now the most fascinating chapter, the drone era, 21st century. Kamikaze drones, FPV racing drones turned weapons. Loitering munitions like Shahed, Switchblade, Lancet cost anywhere from a few thousand to several tens of thousands of dollars per unit. A single modern anti-aircraft missile, anywhere from $500,000 to several $1,000,000 each. And what does a Shilka burst cost? One 23mm round, literally pennies. A short, aimed burst of 30 to 50 rounds, maximum a few dollars. Yet the fire density is so overwhelming that no cheap drone survives. Plastic frames, electronics, propellers, batteries, everything disintegrates in seconds. That's exactly why many operators worldwide are returning to Shilka modernization programs. Obsolete radar removed, replaced with modern optoelectronic suites, thermal imagers, laser rangefinders, digital fire control computers, sometimes even data link integration with reconnaissance, UAVs. A platform designed in 1962, when drones were science fiction, unexpectedly became perfect against massed swarms of low-cost UAVs. Missile-based systems excel against large, expensive, high-tech targets. But against hordes of disposable drones, you need exactly a cheap, reliable, high-volume wall of lead. And the Shilka delivers that wall better and cheaper than almost any contemporary alternative. Comparison with rivals only highlights its staying power. German Gepard and American M163 Vulcan were retired because doctrine shifted to missiles. Russian Tunguska and Pantsir are more powerful on paper, but far more expensive to maintain, require more crew training, and cost significantly more per engagement. The Shilka outlived them all. It remains in active service across dozens of countries and keeps receiving upgrades. The irony of history, a system born to counter jet-powered attack aircraft, found its second youth thanks to tiny, cheap, unmanned aerial vehicles. Bottom line, the Shilka is vivid proof that sometimes a simple, even seemingly compromised solution defeats far more complex technologies. 4 barrels and an ocean of inexpensive shells proved smarter than $1,000,000 missiles. The engineers of 1962 could not foresee the drone age, yet they created a weapon ideally suited for it. This is not just an anti-aircraft gun. It is a timeless lesson for every generation of designers. You don't always need to chase maximum power or sophistication. Sometimes all you need is to flood the sky with the maximum amount of lead for the minimum amount of money. And now the question for you, was choosing the 23mm caliber a stroke of engineering genius, or just fortunate timing that rescued the Shilka from retirement? Will these old-school anti-aircraft guns become the backbone of air defense against drone swarms in the coming 10 to 20 years? Drop your verdict in the comments, brilliant foresight or sheer luck. If the video hooked you, like, subscribe, hit the bell. Next episode, another Soviet legend that outlived its era and keeps fighting. See you on the battlefield of history. Bye.